Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on Beyond Crazy. Thank you so much for all of the support on the mashed potatoes video. I definitely appreciate all the comments. That being said, we figured why not just hit all of them. So I'm gonna start with a couple of classics. We got the video chaptered beneath, help you get around, get the instructions that you're looking for. But I'm going to be doing green bean casserole, some homemade cranberry sauce, as well as some stuffing. So let's get it started. So I'm gonna start probably with the most simple of the four recipes. I'm gonna come in with the cranberry sauce. So this is going to be 4 cups of fresh cranberries. It's gonna be 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of honey just drizzled over the top, 1 cinnamon stick just tossed in there, the zest of 1 orange, and then it'll be the juice of 1 orange. You're looking for about 1/2 cup. These are really juicy, so I'm hoping that I get about that amount. I'm gonna give this a little stir, just making sure all of that sugar at the bottom is getting some of that orange juice so it doesn't start to burn on the bottom. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is throw this onto your back burner at low temperature, cover on it, 15 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving is that although the cooking is super good and it's like super satiating, very hearty foods, it's also very easily prepared foods. The biggest and most time-consuming part of doing the green bean casserole is definitely going to be doing the onions by hand. You're more than welcome to use like French's onions. I've used them many times before. They're absolutely delicious. I figured why not just take it up just a tiny bit for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead, rudimentary clean these onions. I'm just gonna come in, take the top off, take the bottom off. I'm gonna touch it with the heel here of the knife, peel off this outer layer. And then I'm gonna come in and just go top to bottom, trying to keep them as thin as possible. If you have a mandolin, you can use one. But for me, I'm pretty confident in the fact that I can keep these where I want. And don't be scared that if you start getting at an angle and everything too, don't be scared to make them uneven because they're all gonna get broken up and fried up anyway. So if you did something like that, just go ahead and just make a crescent out of it. It's gonna be completely fine. I'm gonna use 4 large onions for mine. I'd rather have too much than too little. I will let you know as soon as we're done how many was actually needed to cover the top. Awesome, so now that I've got these thinly sliced down as I'm gonna get them, I'm gonna go ahead and just separate the rings with my hands, just making as much contact or surface area for contact with this buttermilk that I'm about to add. I'm gonna come over the top. It's not an exact measurement. I'm just gonna come over the top with my buttermilk. I'm just hoping to make contact with all of my onions. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and just give them a little turn. This is gonna work as my binder because I'm not gonna use eggs on this one. Now that I've got that chilling in the buttermilk, I'm gonna come in here and set a different bowl. About 4 cups of all-purpose flour, a couple tablespoons of salt, a hit of black pepper, mix. And then I'm gonna go from here, trying to drip off as much of that excess liquid as possible, straight into the dredge. Ordinarily, you would wanna do clean hand, or the clean hand and the dirty hand, but I wanna make sure that these get as powdered up as possible. And this is what you're looking for. Nice, evenly coated strings of onions. Trying to be as fragile or as gentle with them as possible because they are pretty fragile. Do the same exact process for the rest of my onions. So I've got all of these dredged, coated, and put to the side. I'm just gonna go ahead and test the oil one time. I'm just gonna take one of the rings, I'm gonna slowly add it. I'm looking for some definitive white bubbling coming off of that. That does look pretty good. Cool. I'm gonna do these in batches in order to not overcrowd, but I'm also not looking to make clumps. So I'm gonna like try to individually add these as much as I can. I've got my spider over here as well. I'm gonna give this a nice little stir. I'm just gonna flash fry these, so they should only be in there for about 30 to 45 seconds, and I'm gonna pull them, put them inside a bowl with some paper towel to take up that excess liquid, and then they'll turn all nice and crispy. Amazing. I went ahead and cleaned about a pound, maybe 1.25 pounds of these green beans. I'm gonna go ahead and blanch them right now, pull the vibrancy out of them. Yeah, I'll show you how to continue on from here. So I've gone into blanching a couple times on the channel before. Blanching is essentially just boiling a vegetable in order to cook it, and then you flash it inside an ice bath. It's gonna make it a lot more vibrant. Earlier I said pull the vibrancy out of it. It's not going to pull the vibrancy out of it. It's going to make it 10 times more vibrant. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I've got a rolling boil here. I'm gonna add in my 1.5 pounds of green beans straight in. I didn't salt this water or anything. This is just the green beans and some hot water. I'm gonna give this about 30 seconds now to go ahead and cook. So I prepped out an ice bath. It's literally just ice water. I'm gonna take the ice cubes. Now it's just ice cold water. I took out the cubes so it makes it easier for me to handle afterwards once I throw my green beans in here. So these have been rolling for about 30 seconds now. So I'm gonna take them out of here and I'm gonna put them directly into my ice bath. You see how green these are? Look at that. This water is still nice and cold, so I'm able to handle these, make sure that all of the green beans are nice and cold as well. I'm gonna go straight into my cast iron with all of these nice green beans, freshly blanched. So I'm gonna come in here, this is cream of chicken with herbs. I'm gonna use 3 cans for this recipe here. Probably about 1.5 teaspoons of soy sauce. Sliced almonds. A little bit of salt. So I've got all of my soup, all of my sliced almonds added to my green beans. Just gonna give it a good mix before I add the onions to the top of it. I'm gonna come across the top of this with all of these nice onions. So now that we've got this all set with our onions, I'm gonna put this into an oven preheated to 350 degrees. It's gonna take about 25 minutes. As promised, I am going to deliver on doing the stuffing. I will say I'm gonna skip on doing the turkey included stuffing just because I pulled the giblet bags out and they did not look good at all. So on that note, I am gonna use the turkey. I'm gonna get probably about medium heat here, a couple tablespoons of oil. I'm gonna let that come up to temp and then I'm gonna start cooking off my pork. I just have some country sausage here. I'm gonna do 1 pound. So I've got a couple of fresh sourdough loaves. I'm gonna go ahead and just break these down into small pieces. So I've got these broken down into more manageable pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw these on the top rack, 350 until they're dry. So this is just about ready to pull out now. Look at that. Go ahead and transfer. I'm gonna give this a nice little mix. And then go ahead, oh, it smells so good with the cinnamon. The cinnamon stick can stay in or you can remove it. And that is the perfect cranberry sauce. Sweet, so I'm gonna get started on the celery while that sausage browns off. I'm just gonna go ahead and take tops, bottoms, rinse these under some cold water. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is make them more manageable. I like to go blade length, so I'm gonna cut these in half. I'm gonna cut them down the center, and then I'm just gonna come through and rough chop these fairly small. Now that I've got my country sausage all browned up, I'm gonna go ahead and separate it off the heat. I'm gonna turn down my heat to about 25%. I'm gonna start melting 1 stick of butter. You're gonna small dice the white onion about the same size as you did your celery. Cool. We're gonna be cooking these down for just a couple minutes, okay? Probably about 2. We're gonna do garlic, parsley, and thyme on the top of that. So I've been sweating those vegetables down for a couple minutes now. I just went ahead and came in with my herbs and my garlic. I'm gonna let this cook off for another 2 minutes here. I'm gonna add my sausage back in as well. Give this a nice mix. All right, so I've got my bread. It is dried out now, luckily. Add this to a large bowl. I'm gonna kill the heat on this, give it one last flip. I'm gonna let this cool just a tiny bit. I'm actually gonna take it out of the original pan that it was in. That way it can cool down. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this just over the top of this bread. I'm gonna come in here with chicken stock, then poultry seasoning, all right? Season to your taste, and then make sure you're trying it at the very end. Everything is cooked, so you're completely fine to try it. We're using a decent amount of poultry seasoning here. So now that I've got that, I'm gonna add in 4 eggs, and then just combine with your hands. It should be nice and wet, guys. I'm going to come in with the buttered glue stick and just hit this casserole dish on the bottom and the sides. I'm gonna empty this right on top. I'll pat everything down just like that. Now that I've got it all put into the greased casserole dish, I'm gonna come around across the top with some tin foil and make sure that this is nice and sealed up. I'm gonna put this in an oven at 350 degrees. I'm gonna let it run for about 45 minutes. Then I'm gonna take the top off and let it finish for about 20 minutes without the tin foil on it. And there you have it, signed, sealed, delivered as promised, all of the Thanksgiving sides that you guys commented. Thank you so much for participating and letting me know what you guys are even interested in cooking. It makes my life so much easier. Let me know what you guys think.
Excited. We can just dig in?
Yeah.
Stuffing is a yes. That's the stuffing we're doing for Thanksgiving. Green bean casserole is like a hit or miss for me. Like most of the time I don't like it. I have had it a couple times though where I like it.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've really tried green bean casserole that much, but I definitely get a plateful of this. Oh, and this cranberry sauce was really good. Tristan had me try it earlier. Best cranberry sauce I've had.
It's
So-
like not too tart, but it's not too sweet either.
We normally don't do cranberry sauce in our house, like at our Thanksgiving, so
Yeah.
we just haven't. I've never known how to make it and no one seems to like it, so I'm curious your guys' thoughts.
I like it, Mom.
You like it? It's really good. Good
Nailed
job,
the taste.
Tristan.
A+. That is so good. Is that stuffing? I love stuffing. Okay, that is so good.
I can go next time.
I give all of it 9 out of 10. Very, very yummy.
I love stuffing,
I want to
and I'm a big fan of stuffing. I've always liked it. But this one is different. I'm not gonna lie. I've tried a lot of stuffing like over the years, and I've always liked it. But I really do like this one a lot. He did good on this one.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for the sides for this Thanksgiving dinner for the Crazy Pieces for 2024. Let me know down inside the comments what you guys thought, what you guys are thinking for cooking for your Thanksgiving meal, and if you're gonna steal any of my recipes, let me know. Go ahead and like, comment, do your thing so I can keep doing mine. Love you guys. See you in the next one.